Hi, this is Russ with ESBService.com, and I'm going to show you how to convert from the ESB timer that has the transformer on the timer to the timer that doesn't have a transformer on it, but rather it's an external transformer like on this setup. So in order to do that, this is a representation of how your tanning bed is wired currently. This represents the main power cord that you plug into the wall coming up into the rear of the contactor. This is usually facing towards the rear of the bed, and this is called the primary of the contactor. Now this is the secondary of the contactor. This is usually facing towards the front of the bed, and this is where you have wires like this that connect to your ballasts, and you also have wires that go to your fans, and then there's another cord that goes down to the bench. So the other component here is you got the backup timer, and also in addition to the main timer we have the timer overlay. So this represents the whole timer circuit: timer overlay, timer, backup timer, and contactor. And it might be worth stating at this point that sometimes this wire is not used. This black wire coming from the primary side of the contactor going here, it could be on J3 or J4. Sometimes you just don't have that, and that's just fine. But a lot of systems have these four wires where you have a pair of black and white that go to J1 and J2. And then here's another black from where that one comes from, and then here is lastly a black wire that goes from J6, or it could be J5, and it goes over to 1 on the backup timer, or it could be A1. Now these components, the contactor and the backup timer, are like on this picture here. They're mounted usually along the center frame support of the bed. Like I said, right here on the underside of the front side of the cover is the main timer, and that's what it looks like there with the timer circuit board, the cover, the overlay, and then the bezel on the outside. And then again, here's where your contactor would be, and then your backup timer, and then this is where we're going to put the transformer, in that general area basically. This is what we're going to put in there. There's a spacer, a couple of screws, and then the timer and wiring. So to begin, what we're going to do is remove the wires here. I'm going to disconnect the overlay from this timer, and then these wires, the pair that are white and black, I'm going to disconnect them. They go to J1 and J2. I'm going to disconnect them from the contactor. And then right where I'm removing these, the black and the white, these two wires, that's right where I'm going to connect the black and the white that go to the transformer on the new assembly. So I'm going to move that out of the way. The white one is right here on the white side of the contactor. You'll notice all those wires on this side here are white, and then all of them on this side are black. So then this is where the black goes, right here. And then now we have power going to our new transformer, the external transformer. And that's going to the timer now, just like it was on the old timer. If you have this wire on a replacement timer, it would have to go in the same spot that it came from. In this case, you don't need it. Like I said, on some timers you don't even need that wire. So you would take this wire here on J6, or it could be on J5, it goes to A1 or 1 on the backup, and this is the one that we're going to move on to the new timer on J6 right there. And then that's it. This will go away, and on this timer setup this wire will go away as well. I'm going to disconnect that from the contactor and just remove it. It's not needed anymore. So then at the timer we would connect the overlay again like it was, and then the timer would end up being mounted on the underside of the cover, just like in that diagram again, with the screws and the bezel and the overlay on the outside. And then we would finish it off by mounting the transformer using the insulator. It's important that you put this insulator on there, and like I said, it would be on the rail of the bed that the backup timer and contactor are located on. You would put it down, and you see that it matches the shape of where the wires go, so you can only put it on one way. So then you would just take those screws and screw them down into the support rail and have that all secured. And that's it. So basically it's just the two connections on the contactor and then the one here on the main timer. And then that's how it would be finished.